Hello and welcome back to episode 2 of the Liverpool 2001-2002 experiment. If you've been following, you'll know that the only competition Liverpool have won in the first 5 years of this experiment is the FA Cup, which was the season just gone. So, to 2024 and Liverpool have come third. They are very good at coming third, 75 points, losing 9 games. Is Jurgen Klopp still in charge? He is indeed. Let's go to the transfers. Who did they buy in? Anyone interested? Rodrigo came in. Reece Oxford from Salzburg, who went out. Sander Westerfield went to Tottenham, and Hamann went to Torino in the end. Very interesting there. Did he have a good season? He did have a good season at the ripe old age of 33. Let's go to the schedule then. So they lost the Charity Shield to Manchester City 2-1. And they obviously... Oh, there you go. They went through 2-1 in the Carabao Cup against West Ham. Beat Wolves 2-1 in the Carabao Cup. Went on to the quarter-final where they beat Manchester United 2-1. And then lost in the semi-final first leg to Brighton 3-1. And then again they beat them, 2-1 in the next leg. Obviously going out. FA Cup, Champions League first knockout round. Firstly they beat Barcelona 1-0. FA Cup 5th round they went out to Bristol City 3-2. As you can see up here, they beat Reading and they beat Crystal Palace in the previous rounds. And then on to the second leg of the Champions League, where they drew 1-1, which was enough for them to go through to the quarter-final, where they met Monaco in the first leg, was 1-1. And then on to the second leg away at the Stade Louis II, where they won 1-0. Jamie Carragher sent off there. On to the Champions League semi-final. They won 2-0 against Manchester City with a Gerrard and Heskey goals. And then the second leg was 2-2 with Journeyman sent off. And then they went on to the final where they met Real Madrid and beat them 3-0. Champions League winners. Liverpool, Champions League winners. 2003 to 2023, 2024. Jurgen Klopp finally wins the Champions League with Liverpool. FA Cup winners and Champions League winners. Absolutely fantastic. Their leagues, since we did this experiment, third, second, third. Gerrard is now captain of the squad. And obviously captained them through their Champions League win, only playing 14 games. Let's see if he did captain them before we go anywhere. Was he in the squad? He was not in the squad for the Champions League final. I'm guessing it would have been Sami Hyypiä who would have captained them. So let's go ahead another year to 2025 and see if they can retain the Champions League. We have gone ahead 1 year to the 27th of June 2025. And as you can see, Chelsea have gone and won the Premier League with 89 points. Liverpool have come fourth, their lowest since we started this experiment. Look at the points here. It was a very, very close season. Tottenham were the closest behind, all four, with 9 points behind. Let's go to Liverpool. Is the big man still in charge? He is. So let's have a look at the transfers. Who came in? Hamid Jamai. Who went out? Anyone of importance from the 2001 squad? Not really. So let's go to the schedule and have a look. They lost the Super Cup to Tottenham 2-1. Carabao Cup away, they won in the third round 2-1 against Preston. They then went on to lose on penalties to Wolves. It was 1-1 at the end of extra time. And then we get to the Club World Cup, where they actually won and beat Pumas 3-0. Fantastic result. FA Cup third round, they beat Everton 3-2. Nice little derby there for the third round. And then they went on to beat Brentford in the fourth round 1-0. In the fifth round, they played Swansea and it beat them 3-0, which is good. And then on to the first round of the Champions League, they won at the San Siro 4-1, which is a cracking result away. And then on to the second leg, they beat them 1-0 at home at Anfield. On to the FA Cup sixth round, they lost 2-0 to Manchester City, so they are out of the FA Cup. And not a good start to their defence of the Champions League, but they did go on in the second leg to beat Real Madrid 3-1, but losing the first leg 1-0 away. In the semi-final, they played Monaco 1-1 in the first leg, and then they went on to the second leg and beat them 2-1 with a Gerrard goal, and then met Barcelona and won the Champions League again. Heskey scored in this game 2-1 against Barcelona. Champions League defence. Well, they've won it. They've won it again. I don't know what to say. Absolutely brilliant. 2-1. That is fantastic. Let's go to the manager. So he won the Champions League, the World Cup Club Champions League, and then won it again. The Champions League, defended it and won it. Absolutely brilliant. 9 years, 262 days in charge. The league status isn't going too well. Second, third and fourth. They need to boost that up again. Steven Gerrard is still there. I'm guessing he's probably captain now. But look at this rating. Brilliant. So let's go ahead another year to 2026. See if Klopp can make it 3 in a row in the Champions League. Again, 1 year ahead, 2026. And as you can see, Liverpool have got back to second place with 93 points. 3 points behind winners Manchester City. Losing to Manchester City once away. Only losing at home to Manchester United though, once through the season. But so close. They are so close every time practically, except for when they come fourth. Obviously last season Gerrard's still there. Jamie Carragher still there. They've got Edison now in goal. Fantastic. So let's go to the transfer history and see what went on. Who did they brought? Edison came in, obviously. Jamal Lewis and Isaac come in. So who went out? Igor Biscan went to Arsenal. Emil Heskey went to Tottenham. Wow. Okay. Sammy Hippier went to Tottenham as well. So have a look at that. 42 million. 9 games, 3 goals, 720 average rating. Igor Biscan, let's have a look at you. At Liverpool for a long time, 54 million, 682 rating. He was never a 7er, to be fair. And let's go down to Sammy. See, 36 years old, 1.7 million. He's still got the talent, 7.8 rating. Absolutely brilliant. Let's go to their schedule then. So what happened? They won the Super Cup against Chelsea. Obviously, the Premier League is dominating Europe at the moment. Let's go down the Carabao Cup third round. They went out in the third round to Burnley 3-2. Lost 2 Champions League games in the group. Napoli 3-2 at home. Barcelona 3-1 away. Redeemed themselves against Copenhagen. Twice, 3-0 home, 3-0 away. Then lost to Napoli again. Now don't forget, Liverpool are the defending champions of this Champions League. They then beat Barcelona 2-1 at home. Did they make it through? They won the World Club Championship again. And it looks like they went out of the Champions League. Yeah, into the Euro Cup. So they're in the Euro Cup. Which is pretty bad. It's the first time since we've done this experiment. They beat Anderlecht 2-0 and then 3-0. Sorry, I forgot about the FA Cup. Fourth round beat Leicester 2-0. And then they won against Wolves in the fifth round 2-0. In the second round of the Euro Cup, they beat Spartak Moscow 4-0 and 4-0 on both legs. And then went out to Burnley in the FA Cup sixth round, bogey side last season. In the Euro Cup quarter-final, they drew with Bayern at Anfield 1-1, and then went on to beat them at the Munchen ground 2-1. Into the semi-final they go, and they beat Olympique Marseille 3-0 in the first leg, and then went on to beat them 1-0 in the second leg. Off to the final they go, and they won. Absolutely stomping that. Brilliant. Jurgen Klopp is still there, 10 years, 262 days. He's won the World Club Championship again. Couldn't defend the Champions League, but went on to win the Cup Winners' Cup, the Euro Cup, whatever they call it these days. Let's go ahead one more year and see if he can defend it. Again, 1 year ahead, 2027. As you can see, Liverpool have fallen down to 4th place, 84 points, with Manchester City winning the league on 97 points. Absolutely brilliant. So, are there any other players left? Gerrard is still there. Carragher is still there. I'm guessing they're the only two that are still at Liverpool. Let's go to the transfer history. Ruben's come in. Lunin from West Ham. There you go. See, there's one gone. Jerzy Dudek went to Bayer Leverkusen for free. Must have been at the end of his contract, and had a pretty good season with them. Well done. So basically, it is Carragher and Gerrard left in the squad. Liverpool went on to win the European Super Cup, beat Atletico Madrid 2-1. Carabao Cup third round, 3-2 against Wolves. And then the fourth round, 3-0 against Hull. They need to redeem themselves in the Champions League, by the way. Off to the Carabao Cup quarter-final, where they lost to Tottenham 1-0. Now this is not good. There's a lot of red in this gap here between November and December. FA Cup third round out, 3-0 to Manchester City. Started to have a bit of a better run here. First round of the Champions League 2-2 with Benfica, and then the second leg they beat them 3-0. Steven Gerrard scoring 2 goals. Champions League quarter-final against Atletico Madrid, where they lost 1-0 at home, and they lost 2-1 away. So out of the Champions League, out of the FA Cup, and out of the League Cup. Not a good season for Jurgen Klopp, who I'm guessing is not in charge anymore. There you go. Let's go to managers. He was sacked. He won the Super Cup, and he was sacked on the 5th on the 11th of May. So let's go to the 11th of May. What happened around May time? Nothing really happened. They just sacked him at the end of the season. So Thomas Tuchel has been in charge for 34 days, and Klopp has gone. He has gone, and he is now manager of FC Bayern Munich. Incredible, absolutely incredible. Obviously, he's just started there, so he won't have any landmarks yet. But at Liverpool, he won the FA Cup, Champions League twice, World Club Cup twice, European Super Cup twice, and the Euro Cup. Absolutely brilliant. Obviously, we've only got Gerrard left and Carragher. Gerrard is 30 years old, still performing at a high range. And then we've got Carragher down here, 32. Again, who's still performing just below 7s in the average. So let's go ahead in another year and see if this new guy, Thomas Tuchel, can regain the Champions League. Here we are, the last season in this experiment, and for this episode, 2028, it's been 10 years, and Liverpool come second in the last season of the experiment, only losing 3 games, one at home, which was to West Brom, so close again to winning the league. Let's go to the squad. Steven Gerrard is still there, and so is Jamie Carragher. So they were there till the end of the experiment from the start to the end. Gerrard's still getting 7s in average. Let's have a look at Carragher. Carragher, again, let's have a look. 689, still on the borderline of 7s. Let's go to the transfers. The last time we'll be doing this, they brought in some players. Blair Reid from Celtic. Let's go to who they sell. They wouldn't have sold anyone from the 2001 squad because they're practically all gone. Yep, so they're all gone there. Let's go to the schedule and see what happened in their final season. So the Carabao Cup away 2-1, they won against Everton, and then they lost in the 4th round to Manchester City 3-1. Moving onwards to the FA Cup 3rd round, they beat Coventry 2-1 and Bournemouth 2-0 in the 4th round. And then in the 1st round of the Champions League, they beat Monaco 1-0 in the 1st leg. And in the FA Cup 5th round, they beat Nottingham Forest 2-0. In the Champions League 2nd leg, they beat Monaco 3-0. And then in the FA Cup 6th round, they played Chelsea and lost 1-0. On to the Champions League, and they played Barcelona in the quarter-final, where they drew 1-1 at the Nou Camp, and then 2-1 at home against Barcelona in the 2nd leg. On to the semi-final, where they played Juventus 2-2 at Juve, and then lost 3-2 in the 2nd leg at home, with Gerrard scoring. That game went to extra time. So out of the Champions League semi-final, no trophies for Thomas Tuchel in his first season in charge, unfortunately. And since we started in 2018-19, they were 3rd 4 times, 2nd 1, 2, 3, 4, and 4th twice, and just never ever made it to the top of the summit of the Premier League, unfortunately. We'll go to transfer history, and we'll go back to here, and we'll just pick a few players up to see where they are now. Let's go to Robbie Fowler, who should be retired. Yep, retired as a player, not coaching, and he finished at Tottenham with 156 apps and 57 goals. Jamie Redknapp has completely left the game. There's nothing, I cannot get into him at all. Or can I get into Jari Litmanen, which is a shame. Danny Murphy I can still get to, and he's still playing, 35, and now at Millwall. The man I thought was an absolute waste of money, to be fair. Went from Liverpool to Sevilla for free, and Chelsea bought him for 43 million. Only played 13 games. What a waste of money. And then went off to Newcastle, where he was there for quite a few years and probably made his money back. Well, he didn't, but the club did. Let's go ahead 1 year, and let's see who we got here then. Nicky Barmby went the season after. He actually is on loan. Let's go forward. There you go. Nicky Barmby went out. He's now an assistant manager, and we got his career stats. He went off from Tottenham to Ajax, where he played quite well at Ajax and finished his career there. Brilliant. Now he's an assistant manager. Chris Kirkland, I'm guessing, still playing. Yeah, he's at Stoke, and he's not getting many games there by the looks of things. John Arley went to Juventus for 34 million, and then he went to Paris Saint-Germain for a season. Then he went to Chelsea, and he stayed there for 4 seasons, and then he's now at Bournemouth plying his trade. And then, obviously, the legend himself, Michael Owen, who's still at Paris Saint-Germain after that £73 million move, and it's been absolutely amazing for him and Paris Saint-Germain. Look at that average rating, and look at the goals scored. You know, best season there, 24 apps, 26 goals. Absolutely brilliant for Michael Owen. That was probably the best move he'll ever make. in Football Manager World anyway. Patrick Berger, no, can't touch him. He's completely left the game. Hamann has left the game. Sander Westerfield is now at Arsenal. He went to Tottenham from Liverpool. Had a good season there. Only 6 games. He didn't play much at all. Look at this. Pretty bad. I'm not even going to bother wasting my time with him. Poor old Sander. Let's go up here. Anyone else? No, not really. No. 2025. Igor Biscan went to Arsenal from us. 54 million. Then moved on to Schalke, where he's still plying his trade. Anyone else? Emil Heskey went to Tottenham, and now he looks like he is at LA Galaxy, where he went for 13 million and having a cracking couple of seasons out there. Anyone else? Sammy Hippier. He is now a coach for Brighton. Moved to Tottenham from us. Got a few games for them, 42 games, and now coaching at Brighton there. So who we got here? Rodrigo Jerzy Dudek. He is now director of football, and he finished his career at Bayer Leverkusen there. And let's go ahead. Anyone else? If I've missed anyone, let me know in the comments. Again, no one else there, and no one else there. I just want to look for one player who I haven't seen anywhere, which is kind of weird, really. So I'm going to put him in here. Marcus Babel, will he come up? He is. Marcus Babel. He's now a coach, so he must have retired. He did. He retired last season at Liverpool, and he's gone on to coach. So after a fantastic 10 years, Liverpool haven't succeeded where I thought they would succeed, but they have done pretty well with the Champions League, and obviously the FA Cup trophy was a good win as well. So thank you for watching this series. Watch out for my next series coming up, and look forward to hearing your comments. Please like and share with your friends and family, and don't forget to press that red button that says subscribe. Thank you very much.